Oh, hi. Welcome to the Glam Life podcast. I'm your host, Victoria Rocca. You might know me as Victoria Glam if you follow me over on Instagram, which you totally should. And you can follow this podcast over on Instagram as well at the Glam Life podcast. But I actually want to talk to you about that right now. So I put out a video 2 days ago, I think, called The 3 Keys to Success in Permanent Makeup. And in that video, which I'll try and link whenever I'm allowed to. It takes a while on YouTube to edit your live video. But once I'm allowed to edit my live video, I'll go ahead and add a card, I think right here, that will link to that video. So you can go and watch that if you want to. But essentially it outlines 3 key factors in my mind that I have seen in my expert opinion time and time again that determine whether or not you're going to be successful in the year after your first class. So if you have these 3 things, then you are more likely to be successful than if you don't have these 3 things. One is a mindset thing, one is an asset, and whatever. But I wanted to add on to that a little bit because, of course, not just 3 things make you successful, right? I think a lot of people right now are scrambling, whether they've been in business for 1 year or for 8 years. They are scrambling because of 2 key factors. Let's talk about them. Number 1, the economy is down. Everybody knows about it. Nobody wants to name the elephant in the room. I will tell you, the economy is down because inflation is up and our paychecks are not. So luxury services are one of the first to go. My sister is a realtor. She used to clean houses. That's how she put herself through realtor school, studying for the tests and everything. And she told me that around like '08 area. She said, well, she calls me Tori, but I fucking hate that name. Sorry if that's your name. I fucking hate that name. She's like, Tori, I hate that name. But she would never call me Victoria. Anyway, she called me by my name and said, yeah, I'm one of the first to be let go. I'm one of the first things that people cut out of their budget because you could clean your own house. You could fill in your own brows with makeup. You could put eyeliner on yourself. You can buy a lipstick. You don't need me. You want me. I'm a luxury. But I'm one of the first things to be cut out of the budget. And if you are an annual client, you could probably stretch it another 6 months or 12 months. So, and at that point, I'm not going to penalize anyone either because I want to keep my clients happy and I want them to continue coming back to me year over year. Some of these clients have been with me for 8 years. So I'm not going to say, oh yeah, if you don't come to me right now, I'm going to charge you more later. Yeah, wow, way to kick somebody when they're down, right? So I'm not going to do that. I am honoring their annual pricing, even if they come to me 2 years or longer. You know, eyeliner doesn't have to come every year, but it's beside the point. So that's one thing that's plaguing everyone is that your books might be a little bit more scarce than they were before because we are one of the first things, we're a luxury service, one of the first things to get cut out of the budget. And if you're a brand new artist, you're probably finding it harder to fill your calendar than we were in like 2021. 2021 was like the heyday of everything, right? Everybody had that stimmy money, stimmy, and they were dying to spend it, and we were dying to take it. And we were doing brows left and right and up the middle, which is great now because now I've got all these annual clients. But like I said, first thing cut out of the budget. The second thing is also our reach is incredibly suppressed. And I know you've noticed it, which is why what I was kind of alluding to when I was talking about the Glam Life Podcast Instagram account. I've kind of ghosted it a little bit because Instagram has no reach. Instagram has no reach unless I have a big name guest starring on my podcast that week who I can borrow their audience by collaborating the post. We get almost no reach. And I know Adam Mosseri, if you don't know who that is, Adam Mosseri, Mosseri, Adam Mosseri is like the king of Instagram or whatever. I don't know if he's the CEO or the CFO or the COO or just a mascot. I don't know what he does, but something. If you like Housewives, you will like this. Nene Leakes. What's wrong with a Bob? Something. Oh my God. I didn't take any ADHD medicine today. So anyway, He does something over at Instagram, and he did a live one day last week saying that he is going to give reach back to small audiences, which is significant for two reasons. One, we desperately want it. And two, he's never admitted before that he's taken it away. So he said traditionally, I don't think there's any tradition at Instagram. I think the algorithm changes every 2 weeks based on their whims, like who's on their period. You make all the decisions. You're the queen. You make all the decisions today. Like I think they just change it up a lot. But yeah, he said traditionally in the past, they have shown your content, your reels. He spoke specifically about reels. He didn't mention video. He didn't mention like long form video or posts at all. He just mentioned reels. He said that in the past with reels, they have shown your reels to a small portion of your audience to test it. And if it did well, then they would show it to other people. And there was a resounding response of, we just want people who clicked follow to see our stuff. That's what we want. Can we have that back? Can the people who chose to follow us please be allowed to follow us? And he was like, you wouldn't like that. Because just because they followed you a while back, like they might unfollow you. They might not want to follow you anymore. That's what he said. I don't know where he lives. California? I know marijuana is legal in California. But sometimes I wonder what strains they're getting. Because are you fucking high, bro? What? Oh, I know they chose to be your client, but I'm not going to send them any annual reminders. Because what if they decide they don't want to come back in? What? Okay. So he said that now what he's going to do is he's going to give every reel, not just big accounts, every reel is going to get the same fair chance at being shown to new audiences, not just people who follow you already. I don't know. I have no idea if that's going to help your reach or not. Not a clue. I have no idea. It's Instagram, it's Meta. So I'm going to assume it's going to be a disaster, that it's going to be absolutely terrible for our businesses. I'm just going to assume that we should just close up that Instagram, the GlamLife podcast Instagram. I'm just going to assume that we should just fucking close it. But I am not the queen of doom and gloom. That's not me. I tell you how, not just what not to do, but also what to do. So what are we doing besides Instagram? Okay, so a lot of people had put their eggs in the TikTok basket, and around 21, 22, even the beginning portion of 23, that was great. Our reach was great. And then we got stuck in the 200 club or the 400 club, which is 200 or 400 views consistently, no matter what it is that you're posting. So actually, it would be better for you on TikTok, and I've tried this out myself. It would be better for you to start a brand new TikTok account and start with SEO strategy, keyword strategy, and hitting the right audience. Whatever worked for you once or twice on your original TikTok account, open a new one, and they will open the floodgates for you to test you out for your first few pieces of content. If those do well, you will continue to grow. If they are duds because you're trying to figure out what hits or misses with your intended audience, then your account will be like stopped at the door, basically like a bouncer at the door. Sorry, you're not hot enough to get in. But now people are worried about building on TikTok because they've passed this legislation saying that TikTok has to sell in the next 12 months or else close up shop. We're taking you off all the platforms. That doesn't mean, by the way, let's talk about what that means. That does not mean that TikTok is going to disappear from your phone. It means that you can't put it on your new phone. And it means that you can't update anything. And so at some point, the app will get so glitchy that it won't work for us anymore. Now here's the thing. It's my understanding that we are a very, 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 we being United States, are a very, very small portion of TikTok's core users. So they have users worldwide. And if we're, 2% or 5% or whatever it is of all users on the app, do they really feel like they need to give up ownership of the thing they built to make the 2% happy? I wouldn't sell my company because 2% of 2 out of every 100 clients was like, you should sell it. And that's not even what the majority of Americans want anyway, because we kind of know the game. I don't want to touch a whole lot on the political aspects of things because different people have different feelings, and certainly I don't want to make anyone feel like I'm preaching to them about their ethics or their politics ever. But I do think that it's got nothing to do with our privacy. I don't believe that because we sell our data and privacy to China through other apps anyway, and no one cares. I think that it's because their algorithm is just so much better than everybody else's and so much freer than everyone else's. And everyone else is really two or three people, right? Meta owns most things, buys up most things. So it kind of feels like one tech giant trying to piss off another. And if that happens and it were to sell to a US owner, I do feel like it would just become more of the same United States apps that we have now, which we're not happy with. Are you truly, look at me? I'm looking at you. Or are you looking at me? Look back at me. We see each other. Are you happy with the way Instagram's working right now? So I understand why people are nervous to continue feeding into our building on TikTok because it may go away or because it may change and nobody wants to get stuck. Even big accounts, even accounts who had, 60,000, 70,000 followers on Instagram. And now that the reach is suppressed, even those accounts are being punished because they want you to pay for reach, essentially. So at the end of the day, I've said it before, I'll say it again. If you get something for free, you are the product. Nothing is free. If something is free for you to use, you are the product. My husband is watching this show called Fallout, and it's absolutely disgusting and awful, and I hate it. It's a very campy version of Walking Dead. It's so gross. Oh my God. If you watch Righteous Gemstones, though, Uncle Baby Billy is on it. He has no nose. I don't enjoy it, but I do really. Oh, hey, Marlene. Good morning, lady. But I do really love Uncle Baby Billy. But anyway, he's not Uncle Baby Billy on this show. He's worst. Anyway, yeah, we find that out every episode. It's like Groundhog's Day on the show Fallout that my husband is forcing me upon threat of death to watch. That if it's free, you're the product. If it's free, you are the product. So Instagram's free, right? Unless you're paying the $15. So when we paid for those check marks to keep check marks or to get check marks, when we paid for them, it was under the ruse that you would be able to keep your reach or increase your reach. And also that you would get help from Meta if your account was ever hacked or like held for ransom. You see that sometimes where if you have like, I don't know, anywhere from I've seen 7,000 or above followers, someone will hack their way into your Instagram account and then they will tell you, I'll give it back to you for X amount of money. And if you don't give me the money, I'm going to delete everything on the account. The only person I know of who got their account back, personally know of, who got their account back doing this was Shay. My friend Shay Danielle had her account like closed down or hacked or something. She reached out to Instagram, who were absolutely no help, and she opened a second Instagram, and then all of a sudden she somehow got it back, and Instagram like maybe apologized, maybe not, I don't know. It's just not reliable, which is why for years people have been saying you have to work on your email list. You have to work on a community area of your own on your website or something, or a text messaging app, so that you own the way you communicate with your audience. So you can always reach them when you want to. And that makes sense because you have to pay for those things, right? I pay for the right to text people on community. I pay for my website. I pay to send out emails. I do not pay for Instagram because I'm the product. Instagram worked with us like a drug dealer does. It gave us reels, which we were resistant to. We were like, bro, I'm not really that interested. If I want to do that, I would be on TikTok, but I'm not. I'm over here on Instagram. And they were like, well, do it or get out. And we were like, okay, I want to stay in the party. I'll try it. And they gave us 60,000 views, 100,000 views, a million views, 250,000 views, 60,000, 75,000 views, 50,000 views. Every time you posted, you got more and more and more and more and more. And it was building and growing accounts like crazy. And then one day they were like, yeah, turn that well off. 200 views. Ha! Gotcha. 200 views. Oh, you want more people to see your stuff? You could always boost your post. You could always boost your post. And then Meta got fucking sicker. Because Apple said, oh, we want a slice of this pie. We want a slice of this pie. If you're going to boost your post on Instagram and you're going to pay them ad dollars, we're going to charge you a fee. And somebody posted that fee in a Facebook group the other day, and I want you to know it was like $95. Huh? You're going to charge me $95 to pay someone X amount of ad dollars so that I could hopefully get a client through the door? You're out your mind. You're out of it. So Meta was like, yeah, if you just open your laptop and do it on Business Suite, you can avoid that fee. Okay, well, if I was going to open my laptop and get on Business Suite, I'd have been doing that anyway, instead of just boosting a post in the app, which was really convenient. Now, it doesn't have all of the same benefits of actually running an ad. But yeah, so the whole thing has gotten really complicated. I have a headache just talking about it. There are so many nuances to each of these talking points that I have already made. And I have to tell you, it's not fun. And you signed up to be a permanent makeup artist, not to be a social media expert, not to study marketing and social media and trends and algorithms and what the new privacy and advertising laws are, and who's, proposing a bill on how you can or can't, basically use a billboard for free. It's crazy. So what else is out there for you other than Instagram, other than TikTok? I implore you to do something no one else is doing. How do I know no one else is doing it? Because I am a coach and people are telling me, oh yeah, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. And I say, but did you do what I'm telling you to do? And they say, I did this, I did that. Get off the internet. Get off the internet. Get on your feet, put on your shoes, lace them up, lace up the sneakers, and get out there. Go to community events, go to farmers markets, go to bingo nights, be the raffle prize, join other businesses in your town. Your local reach is going to be insane just by showing up for your business. But your local reach is very, 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 very small on just Instagram alone. Girl, leave me alone. Sorry, I just got one of those COVID-19 surge coming. Take your fear and get out of here. From the Weather Channel. Leave me alone, Weather Channel. So anyway, what I was saying was you need to actually physically show up for your business, which means making connections, going and networking with people, meeting other business owners, finding people who you can partner with for giveaways or for sponsorships. Sponsor the Little League team. I sponsor Spring Carnival at my kid's school, and it's on the back of every kid's t-shirt has the Microblading Institute on the back of it. I think that getting in your niche. So let's talk about Brow Sister, right? Brow Sister, hey. Your favorite PMU products company, browsister.com. The only way that this podcast is possible. Brow Sister paid for this camera. Brow Sister paid for these lights. Brow Sister paid for that light and all these string lights. Hey, what's up, Brow Sister? I don't need local reach for that, right? I need national reach. I need international reach, but I can't always get it on Instagram. So I have a podcast sponsored by Brow Sister. Duh. And in addition to that, I physically show up also, which means that I fly my ass around the world, lugging a bag like Santa Claus filled with Brow Sister products, meeting people at conferences. I will buy a booth at your conference so fast. You don't even know. And my husband hates it. He's not a social guy and he doesn't like to be far from home. I'll show up. I've been to the Czech Republic. We were voted second best new product in the UK at the UK conference. We're going to Crete and Biotech in Milan and Jesus Christ, where else are we going? PMU World in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and there's another big trip that I'm taking. Oh, Jakarta. I'm judging in Jakarta. I will go around the world to prove to people how good these products are, because that's how much I believe in my business. And because that's a room full of people that I want to get in front of, a whole bunch of permanent makeup artists who should try my product. because it's amazing and they're going to love it. And I show up for it. It's expensive and it's time consuming, but it pays me back because I'm meeting the audience that I need to meet. I'm educating the people who need the education to be able to know about my product and to purchase it. So when you're thinking that way about your services, you don't need to travel globally for your services. You don't, if you live in upstate New York, you don't need someone in Boca Raton, Florida seeing your ad. I mean, maybe because there's the snowbird New York thing, but mostly, no, you don't need that, right? So what you need to do is actually go where your audience is. If your audience and you cannot meet each other in the sea of Instagram or TikTok, then go to the coffee shop where they actually are. And I mean, I wouldn't do a try before you buy at a coffee shop, but go to in-person events and actually set up things. So what does that look like? Let's talk about it. If you were to get a booth at like a farmer's market that also had local businesses involved, or we had this thing, I don't even know what it was called. It was like a Easter egg hunt / take your picture with the Easter bunny thing, but it was like a market in someone's parking lot. So there were all these booths set up, no parking, just booths set up everywhere with like somebody who did permanent jewelry and somebody who does empanadas, somebody who had their own like very specialized margarita booth. There were people who were representing like their own, what do you call that? Where they sell a boutique and just stuff like that. I would get one of those and I would take before photos of people and have it sitting on an iPad, and I would actually map out their brows. And then I would have them look in the mirror, look at the iPad. Maybe you could do like a split screen on the iPad and let them see the difference and let them leave with their brows filled in like that. And have a QR code right there that they can schedule with you. They can schedule a consultation or they can actually schedule the appointment. I would have an iPad sitting on the table that just runs through video of happy client testimonials or what your space looks like, or somebody shooting a video of you actually doing the service so they can see what does that look like, because people are afraid of what they don't know, right? You have to actually physically show up for your business in 2024. You have to. Maybe it'll change later depending on what goes down with this TikTok thing, because, you know, if they defeat it, then they can start putting pressures. You recommended to free mapping. I was just thinking going to a flea market and promote my business. Then I hear, oh, that's ghetto, but I think it's a good idea. Anybody who says it's ghetto, ask them if they're going to pay your bills. Are they going to pay your bills? Are they a registered client? Are they actively paying you for services? No. Are they going to pay for your marketing? No. Are they going to pay the light bill, the property taxes, the insurance, the mortgage? Are they paying all that? No. Then go be ghetto. Go be ghetto at the flea market. We have one, it's called the Jockey Lot. I don't know why it's called the Jockey Lot. And you know what? A lot of reputable businesses started at the Jockey Lot. They build a client base there. They start earning their money there and establishing like a client base for their product or their service. And then they get a storefront, and then they get, you know, an online store. So like my friend Carolina and John Carlos, they did exactly that. They came here from New York. They were going to have, actually even further. She, I think, is originally from New York, but her family is Colombian. He came from the Dominican Republic and moved to New York. And then during COVID, they moved to Lafayette, where I live in Louisiana, and opened up, I think, a Dominican food truck. And then they were like, no, we're getting out of that. And they have the #1 selling mop on Amazon. The #1 selling mop on Amazon is their product. I think they hold the patent to it even. But how did they get there from the food truck? The Jockey Lot. The Jockey Lot. They bought the actual prototype. They liked it. They patented it here in the US. They placed their first order from their manufacturer. They brought it to the Jockey Lot and they would sell at the Jockey Lot and they would do demos. And they travel around. John travels around all the time and leaves poor Carolina at home with the 4 kids and me. Yeah, and he goes to trade shows and he shows off his products and he travels to they were just in Houston last weekend at different distributors, dropping off, you know, they get them by the truckload, by like an 18-wheeler truckload. They get these mops and they were dropping them off at different distributors. You have to physically show up for the business. Most business is about relationships. Most conferences are just about getting into the same room with people who you might be able to network with. That's all it is. The funny part is they had a tattoo shop. Well, that is funny, and you know what? They have an entire shop, but they didn't offer for you to go there and do a pop-up. Hmm, sounds like a hater. How did Kendrick Lamar say that? "I hate the way you walk, I hate the way you talk, I hate the way you look at yourself in pictures," whatever the hell he said. So anyway, that is my addendum to that, is that you, not only that video where I was talking about those 3 key points, but in addition to that, you cannot just rely on the internet, because I'm telling you, 99% of people will not do what I'm telling you to do. They won't do it. They're going to say, well, I got somebody to Marlene, if you would like some one-on-one coaching, I would love to sit down and chat about this strategy with you. I would love to do that. victoriaglam.com/consulting, because this is kind of like a longer conversation that we're getting into now. And I'm about to hop off because I have a client to work on in 5 minutes. I need to go set up my tray. Yeah, 99% of people are not going to do what I'm telling you to do. And I know that because I'm talking to them now, one-on-one, face-to-face, and they're telling me, no, 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 I got somebody to actually post a testimonial for me. Or somebody's gonna, make a reel for me and they're gonna post it. Well, somebody is writing me up in their newsletter this week. That's great, but all of that is still digital, and that's not what I told you to do. I told you to physically show up. That's what I said to do. I said to show up and shake hands and kiss babies and meet people and charm the brows off of them and get them on your books. That's what I said to do. And that's what I'm telling you to do right now. In the meantime, I will see you right back here next week. We only have 3 more episodes left this season of the Glam Life podcast. I will be doing Summer of Suns again this year, so you will not see me for a lot of June and July. You'll just be getting the regular videos. So make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel so that you get the alerts whenever those videos come out. Have a great week. I will talk to you later. Bye.